First, I'd like to thank AAME for celebrating the arts by recognizing outstanding and deserving award recipients. We are so grateful that they would include not only singers, dancers, musicians, professionals, theater people, but include the arts advocate. The arts advocate volunteers their time, energy, and resources, attends a great many board meetings, networks, and they help host and fundraise for their organizations. They are probably the most overworked, underpaid, and least recognized persons who are vitally important to the future of the arts. I'm so honored to introduce Barbara and Jim Street as the 2025 Arts Advocate Award recipients. Barbara and Jim have served for decades in the arts. They participated in this lovely community we have. They're both natives of Grundy, Virginia. They've known each other since the first grade, and they are vitally influenced by this area of wanting to see the arts survive in Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee. Jim is the Chief Executive Officer and President of J.A. Street and Associates, and his business is now celebrating 40 years of being in business. Barbara is a former educator, and she is currently serving as Vice President of Community Relations with J.A. Street. Barbara was a board member at the Barter Theater, and during the early parts of COVID, she was at a board meeting, and Katie Brown, the producing artistic director, was trying to throw out options of what Barter's position would be in case they were closed. And yes, indeed, the closure happened. Katie had this brilliant and creative idea of going to the Moonlight Theater, a drive-in, dilapidated old theater, and Barbara went home from that committee meeting and told Jim what the plan was. He called Katie, and he and Katie met at this dilapidated old drive-in theater, and Jim said, "Katie, what do you expect to happen out of this place?" Well, Katie pitched her ideas, and Jim went immediately to work, and his team swept in and helped build that place, which made it available to have Barter at the Moonlight. And it was successful during those years of COVID closure. And in fact, an outreach happened that was a surprise. Many people attended Barter at the Moonlight that never had been in the main stage at Barter in Abington, Virginia. Jim was very important to the Paramount. It's an old building, and a group of women organization were ready to go in and refurbish the interior of the Paramount Theater. And David Grace was smart enough to call in Jim to assess the outside of the building. Jim personally walked the roof, and he deemed it unsafe and needed resurfacing. His team again swept in and resurfaced that roof, and also helped with the water damage on the exterior of the building. David Grace says he literally put a roof over our heads. Barbara serves as a commissioner for the Tennessee State Museum Commission, which is a very important job statewide. She is a commissioner and representative for our East Tennessee area and goes to Nashville to attend those meetings. Each one of these people, Barbara and Jim, are unique and talented and smart individuals, but together their teamwork is dynamic. For example, they are very involved with the Rocky Mount Historical Site and Museum, and they planned an impossible mission almost. It was a fundraiser for Rocky Mount, a sit-down dinner, very lavish and exciting dinner, but there was no kitchen available at Rocky Mount. So Barbara, with her can-do attitude, came in and provided this lovely sit-down dinner. And they were dressed, and it was like Thomas and Martha Jefferson greeting us in their lavish costumes at this fundraising event. The monies raised will go for a catering kitchen at the Rocky Mount State Historical Site. Barbara says her philosophy, or their philosophy, is that is really their gift to themselves, that they help and share their resources. She says the arts have greatly enriched their lives, and she wants the future generations and her own grandchildren to be able to celebrate the arts and benefit for all the opportunities that the arts provide for their life. They are very interested, and they do attend, they participate. I first met Jim Street in the late 1980s. He also helps nonprofits in many nonprofit organizations. Jim is one of the main reasons that the Boys and Girls Club is still surviving. He is very generous in his contributions. Jim is busy in his work. He's running a successful business, and Barbara is busy in her work. It's all volunteer efforts, and the arts advocate, I think, is the future of sustaining our arts in this area. Congratulations, Barbara and Jim.
Thank you, everyone. It really is a pleasure to be here. You could have been many other places this Saturday night. About 9:30, you could have been home in your pajamas and maybe watching your favorite TV show. But we really appreciate you coming out here tonight, and especially our table coming with us and being with us. We appreciate it so much.
Well, first of all, thank the AAME Board of Directors for honoring us here tonight. And I want to say a little bit about how we got involved. Usually, if Barb's involved, guess what? I'm involved. Waters? Yep. Fairmont? Yep. Rocky Mount? Yep. But anyway, saying that, but their first encounter was, we were both born and raised in Buckingham County. Our first involvement in the 11th grade, we actually was on a bus, came to the Barter Theater in County. It's the first Broadway theater, live play we've ever been to. And we actually was in the first grade together too. But anyway.
We didn't sit together on that bus. I was on the front seat, he was on the back. And we didn't sit close to each other in school either, did we?
No. It wasn't that.
No.
But anyway, we traveled to the Barter Theater that night, and we were very fortunate to have the Barter and talent that they have with the community. And one of the great things I say about the Barter is that I have been to the Barter Theater, and we do attend regularly, thanks to the free tickets that they provide. I don't think they're free.
I don't think so.
But anyway, saying that.
But we get them for a great price.
Yeah, but saying that to say that I've been to Barter Theater, I've been in Bristol over 50 years. I know a lot of people. And I've been to Barter Theater and not know, and been full and not know so. So what that means, Barter Theater, we think Barter Theater staff here tonight, they serve a great big community, a lot larger than you see in the Tri-Cities. So anyway, Barter Theater does a great job of serving not only our community, but the Tri-State. And then the other thing, we're proud to support several area art groups. The Barter Theater is one of our favorites. And because Barb serving on the board there, it opens a window of understanding how much work goes in and precision goes in to make it happen. And the talent it brings to reality on the stage. They do a great job, and we're proud to be a supporter
Absolutely.
of the Barter.
Yeah. You know, the importance of art in our lives adds an added dimension to our living, to everything. We get to, I think it was said one time that art is way too precious to keep to yourself. And AAME is doing everything they can to share it with others. We are so blessed and so fortunate to have this group that promotes it. And I have a few people I would like to thank. First of all of you, because it's pajama time. But also, I want to thank my two Nancys. And one of my Nancys is Nancy that was on the screen for us. She called and mentioned this and asked. And so I said, well, I have to talk to Jim. And so I did, and we've done what we've done forever, not for an award or anything like that. But Nancy remembered me and wanted to do it. And my other Nancy is Nancy DeFries. And I want to thank her so much because I wouldn't have met her. She was that group of women that knew what was needed for the Paramount. And she, I knew her through the board at the Barter, but I didn't really know her. Now she's my friend. I text in the mornings, okay? But that's how I got to know her, was working with her at the Paramount. And that's how the Tennessee State Commission came about. And that's how Rocky Mount came about. She knew how interested I was, not only in the arts, but in our history and DAR and all of that. I hope I have DAR sisters here because that is so important too. So I want to thank my two Nancys. And my other person I want to thank is Jim's sister, and that's my Lois Ann. And you know, I'm so blessed to be married to Jim Street. I really think I am. And the other part is, I got Lois also. The good part about getting Lois is when I first met her, I mean, I knew her from Grundy, but when I first met her, I watched her. There has never been, that I know of in our area, my Nancy's and Lois, that have been more community involved. And we need to try to find some more people like those three ladies. They've been amazing to us. And I got one other little short story because it's late. The story is that when I came to Bristol in 2009, I had always done things in the community, but in this community, I got to do it on another level, okay? And I was filling out a form. I don't even remember what the form was now, but that form said retired. And I thought, gosh, I hate that word. I don't want to write that word down. And Jim said, well, what's wrong? And I said, I just don't want to write down retired. And he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do something in the community, maybe affiliated with the office, but I don't want to work in the office. And he said, well, why don't you do community relations? They had already been giving and doing so much. And so I said, well, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Community relations. And he said, yeah, you could be VP of community relations. I said, the president. Honey, I'm the president.
course, she does a great job and stays out of my hair every day. Still, you know. But anyway, like I say, anything Barb's involved in was a lot of different organizations. And Lois, like you say, Lois introduced her to a lot of people, a lot of communities, and a lot of projects, and Barb jumped right in and helped her, so she's been great. Okay. I hate to get up unless I tell everybody this. I'm an old JC from me and my brother-in-law. I don't know if any other JC, it's still around. I don't have it to me, but the thing that I really think me and Barb both live is the JC creed, that service to humanity is the best work of life. And service to humanity is the best work of life, and we try to live that every day.